Hello everyone. I decided to make the Unreal Engine 4 tutorial. How is it going to differ from other tutorials? I had a lot of frustration to find good information on the internet. I have got a couple of books and have got one Udemy course, and it feels like it is nearly impossible to learn Unreal Engine just by going through free materials on the internet. I want to reduce your frustration while you are learning Unreal Engine 4. I use Unreal Engine for a little bit less than 1 year. And my memory about my frustration is still fresh. I can capture it in this tutorial, and hopefully, it will help you with your struggle. I am going to skip the installation process. It's straightforward if you have an Epic launcher. It has a section for Unreal Engine, and you can install it. It is easier to install than Fortnite. You open Epic Launcher. If you do not know Epic Launcher, it is a normal launcher that usually any big game companies have, like Origin, like Steam, like Blizzard Launcher. The Epic Launcher has a section for Unreal Engine. You click on it, and you will have an option to install it. I use version 4.26.0. You can use any. But be aware it might have some minor differences. Also, you would need to install Visual Studio. This tutorial for UE4 with C++. I decided to do C++ because most of the tutorials covering blueprints, and it was hard to find any decent tutorials covering C++. So I want to fill up this missing niche. I use Visual Studio 2019, it is free. You can easily download and install it from Microsoft website. Let's press the launch button. Select Games. Click on Next. Steamvr is an annoying part, I do not know how to disable it. There are multiple templates for different types of games. I used only blank, first person, and a little bit of the third person. Templates are additional code and content so that you can start faster. If you want to get a better understanding of the UE4, I would recommend to start with a blank template, but in this tutorial, I'll go with the first person template just to save time. Select first person. Click on Next. Select C++ here. Let's go with no starter content. Keep everything else default. Select a location on your hard disk and a project name. Click on Create Project. I'll show you how to make Steamvr not to start. Go to Edit Plugins, search for VR, I disable Steamvr and Oculus VR plugins. Press Restart. I believe the default layout like this.
This side you have place actors. Here you have window where you can navigate. So if you press right button, hold it and move mouse, you can look left and right, up and down by moving mouse. And while you're holding right button, you can use WASD to move around the map. So also you can go up and down by pressing E and Q. So if you press E, you will go up. If you press Q, you will go down. Everything what you're doing, still holding the right mouse button. And this is the basically main controllers to navigate. There is another thing, while you're still holding right mouse button, you can use scroller wheel and it will change your speed. So see, I'm moving scroll wheel, and now I can move slower or move faster. And there is another thing. If you want to have like a gross speed change, you can use camera speed slider. So you can put like a to 3 and it will move slower, or you can move to 5 and it will move really fast. So what you can see here, it's the level, and basically making the game, it's just making the levels, multiple levels. Some games have like a one level. Usually games have more than one level. It's like everything in the game, it's levels, what you can see. And it's like one level, it might be menu level, another level maybe like a level selection level. It's like intro level, outer level, and like there is a gameplay one or multiple levels. So by default, because it's a template, it's added like a this level, add like a walls, cubes and stuff, and you can immediately play the game already. So you can press play button, then you have to click on this screen, left or right button, it doesn't matter, but I like to do right button click, and then it will grab the mouse control, and you can just already start playing, and it's just like a standard FPS controllers, space jump, and you can move, and with left button you can shoot. Prepare for loud noise. Yeah, so this is the template game already. So by pressing escape you will get out back to the editor, and what you did, it's called play in editor, and for short it's PI, play in editor, right? PIE mode.
This is a world outliner. It shows hierarchically everything you have in the level. Everything you see, like a big wall, editor cube, they are actors. Everything that you put in the level is an actor. Actor is Unreal Engine terminology. This cube is an actor. This wall is an actor. This post-process volume is an actor. This alight mass importance volume is an actor. Template label, it's also an actor. Unreal Engine is written in C++. C++ is object-oriented language. Unreal Engine is also based around an object-oriented paradigm, everything in the level derived from the actor. This cube is derived from the actor, and it has a type of static mesh actor. This has type directional light, and directional light derived from the actor.
There is like inheritance stuff in Unreal Engine. Anyways, so from place actors, you can place more actors in the level. You can place empty actor and just would do nothing, or you can add like additional point light, and you can see it's immediately start doing things, adding the lights to the game. And if you play, you can see there is a light stuff here, some additional lights, but I am not using this thing very often, and it just takes too much space. So usually what I do, I put like a here next to the world outliner, so I will have a little bit more space. What I'm using a lot, it's content browser. So like all assets are here in the content browser, and by default we can have some meshes, and there is not too much meshes, so we can see like a first person projectile mesh. Wow, that's so big. So you can put it here, and usually like you are making assets in separate editor in Blender, or like making like a sound assets, like a sound effects in Audacity or in our audio editors, and you can import them using add import button, and then they will end it up here in the content browser, and then you put them in the level. So my idea, like play around, like navigating and trying to put stuff in the level, because you would if you are going to make games, you would do these things like a lot of times, and it's very important to be comfortable with controllers. They are a little bit frustrating. I'm still kind of frustrated with controllers. For example, like if I make like a really big map, it doesn't do like automatically changing the speed, so I have to use like a mouse wheel very often, and I'm still not, after almost 1 year of using Unreal Engine, I'm still not very comfortable to do this thing. Anyways, so idea for my game is very simple. So I want to cover as much as possible what I learned during this year in one very simple game. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove all these cubes. So click on them and delete all of them. Okay, maybe I'll remove this thing also. And I'll click the build button too. So build will rebuild lights in the level. So you can see I remove things and there is a shadow still from previous geometry. And for performance reasons, Unreal Engine rebuilding lights for static objects. So after it's rebuilt, these shadows will disappear. And I'm going to start Blender. So my idea is to create a little game where you can push the button. You will have like a candy machine. You can push the button on the candy machine, and it will drop you candy, and you can just take the candy, and there is a counter which will show like how many candies you had. Okay, so I'm going to make like a very quick and rough model of the candy machine. For inspiration, I guess I will candy vending, shopping. I guess like this one looks okay, right? So I guess I delete the cube and put the sphere here, and then I guess so this is kind of so I'm hoping this would be some transparent material. So let's make it assign like a glass material, right? And this one I guess would be glass material as well. So assign to this, and this one would be something like a red plastic. What red plastic. So for glass material, I'll do like a rough shadings. Guess just removing alpha would will do the trick. Candy machine. So static meshes in Unreal Engine usually prefer to put like a SM prefix underscore. I'm not big fan of this sort of things, but looks like it's working well for Unreal Engine. So I'm going to assign red plastic for this material, for these faces. And in shading, I'll just do red color. Oh wait, so this one is actually also transparent. So this is glass, and this one is going to be a red plastic assign. Delete this guy, and glass for this guy, and I think I'll make this guy also red plastic, and red plastic for this guy, and I'll just put like a lot of balls here, I guess, but like a reduced amount of geometry from them. Not like maybe isosphere would be better. So these candies, I'm going just to, not too much, just to and they are, I guess, all going to be red, and make them all red. Okay, so here we go. This is the very simple candy vending machine model. I'm going to remove lights and camera so it would not annoy me. So I want to make this probably smooth shading. Just quickly make it smooth shading, and yeah, that looks good. Now I'm going to save Blender file, and usually what I do, I create a folder and call it assets, and I put like all assets inside here. And then Unreal Engine uses FBX for static meshes and for animations, and yeah, so like I'm going to put FBX and export it here also again in the assets folder. One thing what you should do, like everything you can keep by default. Sometimes if you have multiple objects here, you may want to select selected objects. Because I have only one, I do not need to, or it doesn't matter. I'm not touching anything here. I do here face and tangent space. So, and click export. It would go to FBX as a FBX file to the directory, and now I think we can close Blender, go back to Unreal Engine, and we can import this FBX file. So press add import to game, and then go to assets folder, and here we go, open.
FBX importer has a bunch of parameters. I did not make custom colliders for the vending machine. What is collider? A collider is used for physics simulation. We can use a regular mesh for it, but usually, models have a lot of triangles, and this will slow down the physics simulation. This is why we need simplified shapes, and they are called colliders. I'll ask Unreal Engine to generate colliders automatically.
And press import. So, and we've got a candy vending machine here, and if I double click, we will get some editor for this guy. And even materials get imported, which is quite nice. Material didn't have any shaders, so for this reason, any textures, so for this reason it's just imported like as best as it can. And I can modify the glass material and make it transparent. So to do this thing, I can just click here and add a little bit alpha to this guy. And hopefully it will become transparent. Oh wait, I have to press save. Oh, wait a second. How to make this guy transparent? Oh yeah, blend mode, translucent, and for refraction. So for refraction I have to put const and put some refraction value, 0.5. Oh, opacity. I think I do not know how to make glass in game. I never did. Oh yeah, okay. So we have transparency. Save. I think refraction is too strong. So let's tone it down. 0.1. It is still too strong. 0.01. I should probably glass eruption index. Oh, it has to be actually higher. Okay, 152. 152. Save. I know it's good enough. So, anyways, so you have static mesh here. So if you hover here, it says it's static mesh, and you can basically put it as is in the level, like put somewhere here, and it would stay here. I'm thinking to do this way. So because it's static mesh, you can it's like here. I did not cover this part, right? but you can see details of the selected things. So if I select the wall, you will see location of the wall as like what mesh it's used. And if I click on this candy vending machine, it also will show all the parameters of this guy. And one thing is like a static, stationary or movable. So if it's static, Unreal Engine can optimize things and do things faster. So if you know exactly like things is not going to move, make it static so it would run faster in the game. And the part of the optimization is building lights, and because I marked this thing as static, it says like, oh, you have to build lights for this thing. So it's pre-calculating things in advance, and then you're running game. It's just like using pre-calculating values. If I make it to movable, this thing will disappear because it's like, you do not need to build lights. So building lights is very simple. You just press this button and wait.
If you are building lights, you have to be aware of UVs. UV basically instructions for the engine how to map 2D texture, image, into 3D object. I did not use any textures for the vending machine, but baked lights go into the texture, so you have to have good UVs in the model even if you are not using textures.
We have vending machine here in the level, and I can go to it and you can see it's a little bit transparent, which is quite cool. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the button and add the ability to press on the bar, right? So as I mentioned, everything in game it's an actor, so button also going to be actor. And because I'm going to cover C++, I'm going to create the actor based on the C++. So you press File, New C++ class, and there is a list of things from which you can derive your C++ class. And because it's going to the level, I'm selecting actor. Press next, and we will call it button. Okay, candy vending machine. Candy vending machine button. It's very mouthful, but create class. And it will automatically open your Visual Studio. I'm the guy who is not liking to use Visual Studio, so I'm going to close Visual Studio. You can continue to use Visual Studio, but I just not liking Visual Studio, and I'm going to use Emacs. So I'm going to run Emacs. So we have projects, and one of the projects is tutorial CPP, right? All source code is located in the source tutorial CPP, and this is all code which automatically generated. So, and this is new class vending machine button. So this file should be always last include. And also I like to fight with Unreal Engine, and it's like, this is my opinion, it has to have triangle. It has to have triangle things around things. Anyways, so actor doesn't have anything inside. Usually actor basically very simple class, it doesn't do anything. And one of the things what I want to have from actor is show some shape. So I need mesh, and it is a static mesh for button. And to add the static mesh, you need to add the static mesh component inside the actor. So to do this thing, you have to do this stuff. Your property, edit, and basically that's it. Here on next line, you put the type class, use static mesh component, mesh. And this one was like one of the most frustrating things for me, because it's impossible to figure out by yourself, and there is not too much information on the internet. You can go like through courses, which is like, for me it took like 2 weeks to go through, and I'm trying to squash everything what I get like in these 2 weeks in in one tutorial. So you have to add like this thing to be able to make your actor to show something, show the mesh. And then you need to construct it in the constructor. So this is the constructor of the button, and to construct this thing you need to do create default sub object use static mesh component, and then give the name to the mesh. And it's good to give exactly the same name as the variable name. And then, because we have only one component inside the actor mesh, so it's the interaction between actor and component was giving me a lot of confusion. I'm still confused with this thing, because like why we need components if we can put like everything in the actor. And I was like basically never was using, like if I was implementing my own functionality, I never use components. I always adding to actor. And I think like components are useful if you want to combine multiple behaviors on like have like a facets of behaviors. So like for example, you want to have object which you can eat, right? And you want to have object which you can cook, and some objects you cannot eat, for example, because they are raw, you have to cook them. But some object you can eat before you cook them, and you can eat after you cook them. I hope it makes sense. So like for example, if you have raw rice, right? It's, let's say you cannot, like in game you cannot eat raw rice, you have to cook them, right? But like for example, I don't know, some food you can eat without cooking, and it just tastes better if you cook them. I cannot come up with example, but like anyways. And it makes a lot of permutations. And if you make like a component, like one component is like give the ability for actor be eatable, and another component that gives the ability to actor to cook them, so you can kind of have different facets and like a build actor what you want, right? It's like a one bread and other things. Anyways, but basically I do not use too much components. So we implemented this code, and I like to be able to build this code directly from my editor, and for this reason I'm writing makefile. I can build it. I mean, let me show I can build this thing. So like I just save all files, and I can just build directly from the Unreal Engine. It is better for me, more convenient for me to build like directly from the editor, because if errors happens, it's easier for me to navigate error from the editor. So right now it's compiled, so it's not a problem. But like if I made like a typo somewhere, I don't know, like I made some typo, right? And I'm trying to build from the editor, it will give me error, but like it's kind of hard to navigate to the where error happened. So like it's failed, I can look at the logs and like okay, and then I click it, so it will open Visual Studio, which I do not want to use. So to do this thing, I like to write makefile to be able to build directly from editor. So ignore this part, it's for me. You can use just Visual Studio, it's fine. So and for makefile, I just copy paste this thing, because in the tutorial cpp to cpp tutorial cpp, and I think we're good to go. And hopefully it will fail compilation, yeah, here. So like I can easily navigate, and in here it shows like, oh, okay, error here, so I can see error is here, can fix it, try to recompile. So we have class button, and next thing what I like to do, I like to create a blueprint. Even like I'm using C++, I like to create the blueprint from my C++ class. So to do this thing, I press add import blueprint class, and then I need to find my C++ class. It's here in all classes, and I can just use search button, candy vending machine button. So, and I'm creating blueprint out of my candy vending machine button, and I like to call it exactly the same way, but add like a BP underscore on front of it. Candy vending button. So now I can edit this blueprint, and the reason is I could do adding the mesh to static mesh component in C++, but it's very cumbersome. It's like it's a lot of work for no benefits. So this mesh, so then I click on blueprint, I can see in viewport there is nothing here. There is one very useful button, it's F, so you can focus on the thing, and I'm focusing on nothing, alright? And there is a reason, because it doesn't have mesh, right? So here I see my actor, and there is a list of components in the actor, and one of component which I just added, it's a mesh in the code, right? Like here in the code I added a mesh like this way. And then I click here in details, I'll see all details of the mesh, and for static mesh it shows like a none here. So I can pick stuff, and I think I can pick the cube. Yeah, let's pick the cube. If I hover on the cube, it says approximate size 100 by 100 and by 100, and it means it's 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. In Unreal Engine, all measurements in centimeters, and I don't want to have 1 meter by 1 meter. Maybe I want to have 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. So to do this thing, I need to scale it by factor of 20. Right. So here I have to put 0.05. So if I will make the cube 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters, should be good. Okay, compile, save. Now I can go back to my map, and you can see candy vending machine button here in the content browser, and I can put it in on the map. So press F to focus on it. I use the scroller button so to move slower, and I'm just going to place it just in front of this candy machine. So it's doing snapping, and I actually want to disable snapping. So there is this way, it's snapping every 10 centimeters. So I'm going to disable snapping, so I would be able to put like just on the surface of this machine, right? Cool. So then I press play. I guess it's a little bit too high, right? Or maybe it's fine. Okay, so like I can reach it. It is fine. When we created the template, it's already created for us first-person character. So first-person character also actor, because it's in the level, but it has like a little bit legacy on it, inheritance, right? It's derived from pawn, and pawn derived from actor. So it's still actor, but it's like a second-degree actor. I don't know how to explain. So we have a first-person character, and it's actually blueprint. And if we hover here, it says it's a blueprint class. And if I double-click on it, it will open the blueprint editor. By default, it shows like all just parameters what you can have in blueprint, but you can open like a full blueprint editor by clicking here. This is like a really small button, but yeah. And you will get like a blueprint editor, and you can see here the parent class is tutorial CPP character. So it's a C++ class which derived from character, and character derived from pawn, and pawn derived from actor. So you can see it's here, parent class, tutorial CPP character, right? So in the code, we will see it's in the file tutorial CPP character. So this is the header file, this is C++ file. So open in the header file. We have all stuff already set up from the template. What we are interested is on fire. So on fire happens then you press the fire button, right? And it's just firing stuff. So I want to override this behavior. So I'm going to go to CPP file, find on fire, and I'm going just to remove all this behavior. So we do not want to shoot. Let's test, quickly test. I'm going to compile. Confusion. did I mess up with okay. Now it's working. So quickly compile, and now it's not firing, which is good because I deleted the code which fires. I want to so what here I'm going to do, I'm going to use line trace. So line trace, it's basically you're doing the test, so you're just drawing a line and seeing like where line is with what objects and components this line is intersecting. And I want to detect if this line is intersecting with the button, and if it's intersecting with the button, trigger some action, right? So so how to do line trace, right? First thing, you need f hit result. So here line trace will put trace result, right? And next thing, you have to fire the line trace. And line trace is a function of the world, so you need to first of all query the world, and then you can so every actor sitting in the world it's a level, right? And you can ask like in which world this actor is living by querying like a get world, and then you can run line trace. So line trace single by channel, then you put hit result here, and next option. So you can find this thing on internet, you just put this thing in the browser and it will just show you all parameters. So start vector, end vector, trace channel, and then some parameters and some response parameters. Yeah, so parameters I will show also a little bit later. So start and end, it's the one of the quite tricky parts. And for start, you have to put your camera. So like if you look at the first person character here, right, it's constructed with all different parts, and one of the parts is a camera, which you can see like things on your screen while you're doing things. So it's good to put like a start from to here, right, and end in direction where his camera is looking. So okay, let's write the code, and hopefully after writing the code it would make sort of sense. So I'm going to save the camera location because I'm going to use it multiple times. Location equals first camera component. So it is a part of like all templatized setup. If you look here, list of all these things what you have, mesh one person, gun, and somewhere here you have camera, and it's here, right? So like a first person camera component. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the location from this camera. So in start point is going to be camera location, and end point, I guess I can just use camera rotation, get component rotation. So rotation, it's a vector of three components which shows like how camera is positioned in the world, and it has like a three components: rotation around like a z axis, rotation around x axis, and rotation around y axis. So it's a three values in degrees. So basically it's just a vector of three parameters, but it has like a special types, it's called rotator. And from this guy you can get the vector where it's looking. So what I can do as an end position, I can get the camera location and add the vector from rotator and multiply by some values. Remember, it's in centimeters. So like a vector from rotator is a 1 centimeter magnitude vector, and I want to make it look a little bit further, so I can do probably 5 meters. Hopefully it's a reasonable value. So next value, if you look, it is a trace channel, and trace channels, we have multiple channels, and to see channels, list of channels, you can look by yourself. It is here in collision preset. So if you unfold the collision preset, you can see different channels. So there is a visibility camera, and it's like different types of objects, and you can actually select like what kind of object you want to be. It's like default values, it's a static object, and also how it's going to interact with other objects. So right now it's set up, it will block everything, and block everything means like everything, all different types of objects, static, dynamic, pawn, physical body, vehicles, they would physically interact with this thing, right? So as an example, if I shoot the ball on this guy, it will bounce on it, not go through. And if I try to go through this thing, I will also would not be able to go through, right? So like as an example, I trying to go through this guy and I cannot go, right? As a quick example, I can show you different settings. So I can put like a custom settings, right? Keep everything as is, but like I am a pawn, because do you remember it's a character, and character derived from pawn, and pawn derived from actor, right? So I can make it ignore, and if I make it ignore, I would be able to go through this guy. Oop. I'm ghost now, I can go through this thing. So it's just a quick demonstration. So let's return to default things. I do not remember what was default, but there is a handy button, yellow button here. You can just reset to default parameters. Anyways, this is the this parameter, trace channel. You can just click here also to get more information about like a collision channels, and you can see all these different types. And I guess I want to just use visibility channel, so I'm just going to copy paste here. I need to put channel here. I mean it's I could just copy paste from here, but anyways. And last parameter I'm going to populate in a second. So as you can see, go back, you would need to have this one. This one I believe optional, so you do not need to do that. Collision query params, and I need to populate this thing. One important thing, it's ignore myself, so I can add parameter add ignore actor, and let's ask to ignore myself, please. So everything is done, and if it succeeded, it will return true, otherwise it's so then it's return false. We can just I guess return, so it did not collide with anything. I guess I can add like logs. Logs is one of the most frustrating things in Unreal Engine. It's impossible to find any information about logs and how to do and why it's working this way or another way. But like I still do not know how it works, but there is a formula how to use it. So you type UE_log, and then you put like a log temp, and then you put the level, so you can put info, warning, error, say warning. Then you type text, and you put the text here, and it's like I can say did not collide with anything. You can have like some formattings, like put see, but basically this is the formula how to use logs. It's very verbose, and this part always same. I don't know, it doesn't make sense, and it's like why I have to put log temp here. Can I put something else? I do not know. So what I did, I made like my little class log.hpp to log stuff, and I just copying through from one project to another project. So it looks like this. Pause video and look at the code. There is nothing complicated. It's just like a wrapper around like a this thing. So and implementation looks like this. And also sometimes I have problems with shipping bills. This thing, I uncomment this thing, and I can look at the shipping logs. So I need to comment this one, but like it's fine. So it's not going to impact any performance. Anyways, this is my way to do logs. And in this case, I can just type log here. It's way shorter, right? Include log.hpp. So put triangle brackets here. Okay, so then I press on fire and it did not collide with anything. We'll say did not collide with anything. Collided with, and put the name of the so we can get the results from hit result, and then dot actor dot get. So we will get the actor, and we can get the name of the actor, get name, like this. So let's test out this code. Obviously we have compilation problems. Get component location. Oh, it's a function. It should be function. So let's compile again. Decalation. This code is C++ 17 code, and by default Unreal Engine is C++ 14. So I need to bump the version of C++. To do this thing, I need to go here and add this line. CPP standard equals CPP standard version.cpp 17, and recompile everything. So in this case it will recompile everything because this flag influence like all files, source code files, so it will take a while. So, and let's test it out the code. So we can see logs here in output log. They should be yellow, and if I press the button it says warning, did not collide with anything, and if I point to the floor, press the button, it says collided with floor. If I point to the button here, it says collided with a Sam Candy vending machine. It's not colliding with the button. And the issue here, this target actually pointing in the wrong, it's not in the center of the screen. It's a little bit off. I don't know why Unreal Engine engineers did it this way, and actually they deliberately make it off. So if you go to HUD implementation, there is a +20. It took forever for me to figure out why there is a +20 here, but if you remove this +20, it will fix the problem. Oh yeah, they said offset by half the texture dimensions. Anyways, hopefully it will fix the aiming issue. So if I click here, nope, it's not, it did not fix. Oh, I guess this one I actually have to make custom and make it invisible for line trace. Yeah, here we go. Now it's still a little bit off. I think the reason is, anyways, you know, I'm going to delete this code. I hate this code, it doesn't work well. Bye bye. So this code actually draws the crosshair, and I'm just going to delete it. No crosshair code. So I'm going to put my own code for crosshair. So as you can see, there is no crosshair code. So what you can do, you can make your own HUD. So same way, file, new C++ class, but instead of actor, because it's not going into the level, into the world outliner, it's not an actor. It's derived from user widget. So I create user widget, and I can make it like per HUD. I call usually like all things call like a project. In my things, it's just like a, you know, people call like a my something. I called it project something. So project HUD, create class. Next thing, obviously I close Visual Studio. You can use Visual Studio, I just tried to use it, it didn't work for me. Immediately I'm creating blueprint class from project HUD. and I call it blueprint bp underscore project HUD. So this is my workflow, how I'm naming things. I created a little bit wrong place, so I'm going to move it here. And here I double click, and you can make the your own user interface for things. And what I want to put crosshair on it, right? Oh no, first I need to put the panel, and then on top of the panel I want to put image, and image is going to be crosshair, right? Here, where is it? Here, here we go, first person crosshair. It's 16 by 16 by 16, so I'm going to set up 16 by 16, and then you can align stuff. So this thing, it's guidelines like around, it's an anchor. So I want to put this anchor exactly in the center of the screen, and then I click on this crosshair. It shows the position of this guy. So if I put 0, 0 here, you can see it will put like a things slightly off center because pivot point is in the corner. So I want to adjust this thing, and I know the size of the crosshair is 16 pixels by 16. 16 by 16 is not pixels, it's virtual pixels, but yeah, 16, let's call it pixels, but they are virtual pixels. So I have to adjust it by adding like half of 16, it's 8, -8, -8. So now it's exactly in the center. If I press play, you would not be able to, you would not see this thing because you have to add it into the game, right? So you have to write the code to instantiate this thing and add it into the game. So to do this thing, I need to update HUD class, and in the HUD class, this is very common thing to kind of connect Blueprint world with C++ world. Because I made this HUD in Blueprint, I need to know what Blueprint class I have to instantiate. So here's it. I do it this way. So I'm adding property into the class, and the property is subclass of the class U project HUD, because I created my own HUD project, right? This one, and it's a U project HUD, and I just call it HUD class. So it is not the instance of a class; it's a subclass of the class, right? So I still need to instantiate it. So to instantiate it and it has to be done not in the constructor but in begin play. So I need to create the begin play function. So this HUD is actually actor. So all actors have begin play function, and I can override it and implement my own stuff for them. There is another interesting, like Unreal Engine specific things. You can call super function from the super class by doing like a super and name. So you know it's derived from a HUD, right? And you should, like in normal C++, you can do this thing, but like calling super, doing exactly the same thing. So in begin class, I need to instantiate UI, and I may add project on if I would need, like in the future. I do not know, maybe, yeah, I would need it in the future, so yeah, or not, I don't know. Anyways, it would not hurt. So create widget. So this is different way. So like then you're creating component, right? Like in the button. Then you create a component. You call create default sub object. But for widgets, you call create widget. You project HUD, and you can put this here. You can put like a get world. It doesn't matter. It will figure out stuff. So I didn't know what to put. It took forever for me to figure out, because like in the documentation it says, oh, you know, you have to put like a owning object. What is owning object? Anyways, you just put this and it's gonna work. And then you need to add this thing to viewport, and it's HUD add to viewport. Here we go. That's it. Hopefully we will not see things, and you know, I have to do protection because sometimes it's null, right? So if it's null, it will crash everything. I don't want to crash, so put protection here. If it's null, don't do anything, and it would not do anything because I did not set up the widget class yet. Okay. What I need to include? Constructor helpers. No, it's still here. Create widget. What is missing? It's not here. Oh, we do not need vSwing, not vSwing. Oh, I need to include project hard.h. Why it's not happy? The given owning object is not support. Oh, okay, so this doesn't work. I thought it would work. Okay, this would work. Cool. So it's compiled, but it's not going to work. I'm demonstrating it's not going to work. So I have C++ class, and because it's from template, it did not follow my pattern. So I'm going to change to my pattern. So there is a C++ class which called tutorial cpp hard, and I'm going to create blueprint class from this guy, tutorial cpp hard, and I'm going to call bp. Okay, and then it's still, I mean, I can update this thing. So here we go, there is a hard class, right? And I will pick my blueprint hard class. It's still not going to work. As you can see, it doesn't work, and the reason is it's not using BP tutorial cpp hard. It's using tutorial cpp hard, and to change this thing I have to go here to blueprints, to game mode, and game mode has hard in it, and it's connected to tutorial cpp hard, and I cannot change game mode because it's a C++ thing. So I have to make the game mode also blueprint class. So I'm creating another blueprint class which is a game mode, tutorial cpp game mode, and I'm going to call bp tutorial cpp game mode. This is like my crazy frustration with Unreal Engine. It takes forever, and there is no documentation how this thing works. And it's like and there is a documentation's not good documentation. So I went to here, make it blueprint tutorial cpp game mode. Then I said I want to use blueprint tutorial cpp game mode, and as soon as I change this thing, I can change here to my blueprint tutorial cpp hard, and now things would work. Look at this. I have to make this stupid thing show here on the screen. I have to jump through all this, like luckily I have to do it once, but it's like you have to figure out somehow. Don't thank me. So now let's go to logs. So without exiting the game, I cannot get the control, like mouse is grabbed, right? So like I can press Shift F1 and my mouse is freezed, and I can switch back to output logs and see my output logs. Now click here, it's pointing to the wall. Click here, it's pointing to the floor. Click here, it doesn't see this guy because I disabled visibility, do you remember? So it sees things behind. Click on the button, it sees button, and if I slightly off the button, doesn't see button, doesn't see button, doesn't see button, it does see button. So it does see button, right? Now as soon as I click on button, I have button class, vending machine button class, right? I want to add the function here, and it's called click, simple, and on click I can just put the log hpp compile, test again, click. Alright, it didn't work because I forgot to add one more thing, right, on the character, tutorial CPP character, on fire, and collide it, and then I can do if. In our Unreal Engine stuff, there is a function called cast. So instead of static cast or dynamic cast, Unreal has its own casting system. So I got the actor, and I can cast this actor to candy, and then auto equals. And if it's candy, I can do candy click. And I need to include candy. Include candy. Wait, it's not a candy, it's a button. Oops. So the name is candy vending machine button. I'll call it button because it's too much. Okay. It's H, not HP. Candy vending machine. Oh, include. Cool. So now then if I'm clicking on the button, yeah, it says clicked. Nice. So then I click on this thing. I want this button to spawn the candy. So I already showed how to make the shape in Blender and import it. And normally you go to Blender, make the shape of the candy, import it, go back. So like just to save the time. But like as you can see, you're doing this thing again and again and again. This is the way how you making game in Unreal Engine. It's like a this loop. You make the asset, you make FPX, and you imported it. I'm going to skip this step because I already showed once. So I'm just going to use sphere as a candy and maybe put like a red plastic on it so it would be red. So we need candy, and again we create class actor.
Streamlabs yelled, "Thank you for following VoltaJack."
VoltaJack, thank you for following. Actor, next, call it candy. Create class, it's derived from actor. And guess what? Close Visual Studio. Same thing again and again and again. It's just like I'm showing like a core of the how you're making games in Unreal Engine. It's like this thing you repeat million times and you get the AAA game.
VoltaJack said, virtual HUD, virtual HUD, virtual hug.
Boop. Thank you. So close Visual Studio, create a blueprint out of it. So add blueprint class, candy, select, call it blueprint underscore candy, and then write the code for this thing, and it needs mesh, static mesh. So I'm going just to copy paste from the button code. So I have this thing, and I'm just going to copy paste and put it here. Separate in the static mesh component, and then the constructor. Going to copy this code, and I'm going to copy this code. Everything, it will get the mesh, so I can compile things and apply the mesh in the blueprint. Okay, it's compiled. We have blueprint candy. Double click on blueprint candy and add the mesh. So this mesh coming from C++, static mesh, and I'm going to select the sphere. So it's a 3 meters by 3 meters. Let's see, editor sphere, 3 meters, material sphere, static sphere. So it's a 2 centimeter. It's okay, it's good sphere, right? So and as a material, I'm going to apply red material, red plastic material. So it's going to be red sphere, and now I'm going just to put in the level to see how big is it. It is too small, so I need to scale it maybe 4 times. So let's put 4 here. Yeah, so it's a little bit big, but it's a game, so I think it's better to be a little bit big. So okay, now I'm going to delete it. So as you notice, it is just floating in air. So I want to apply physics for this thing, and I can do this thing in Blueprint. So I can do this thing in C++, but should I do it in C++? I do not know. I'll do it in Blueprint. So because it's just like way easier, you just click things. And basically what you need to do, you have to say simulate. Oh, wait a second. This guy, I cannot, because it doesn't have Let's pick some other spheres. It doesn't have collider, and for this reason it's cannot simulate physics. Sky sphere. So let's pick like a. Let's pick this sphere, and 4 centimeters. So like a 004, 04. File save. So now I'm hoping I can simulate physics. I cannot. Oh yeah, I can simulate physics. So it will fall down. Yeah, so now it's on the floor. And I don't want to interact with thing with the character. So let's tweak collision preset. So in the collision preset, it says it's physical actor. What it does, it's interacting with the pawn, and I don't want to interact with it. I want overlap with pawn, but I don't want to interact with the pawn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say custom. So it's a physics body, but with pawn it's not going to interact. It's going to create overlap events, but there is no physical interaction with things. So did you notice, like, then I stepped on this thing and just fly away because it's like a bounce from the your character. Now it would not do this. Look at this. I can just like, oh, what the freak? It's still interacting. Not sure why. Custom, overlap, pawn. I don't know. Obviously I'm misunderstanding something, and I do not know what I'm misunderstanding. Maybe I have to do also on the character side. So we have capsule component, collision preset. I want to block physics body. Yeah, I don't know. But obviously I can push this guy. Anyways, it will generate overlap, and I would be able to eat it, right? So that's fine. Now the button, we want to spawn this thing, right? So it's a candy type, and again, candy is blueprint object, and I want to connect it with C++ stuff. So be repeating things again and again and again, doing same thing, which is we adding a class of, so doing same thing what we did in the HUD, right? So but instead of HUD we do a candy, and we do candy class. Okay, so button will have the candy which would know what to spawn, right? And then on click I want to spawn the actor, and to do this thing there is a function it called spawn actor. So it will spawn the actor inside the world. Get world, and it's a candy class, and it is this class, candy class, because I want to spawn blueprint class, not the C++ class. And the location, get location, it will try to spawn this thing inside the button, right? So I need to add some offset. So what I want to do, I want to add get forward vector. I do not remember. Let me quickly search in my notes. Get actor forward vector. Get actor forward vector. You can search. I mean, as soon as you know there is something existing, right? You can like search for this thing, right? Like for example, a actor get forward vector C++, something like this. You know there is it's existing somewhere, right? And probably want to put like UE4. And look at this. First link, a actor get actor forward vector. So you do not need to memorize too much, but you just need to know there is a forward vector existing, right? And again, it's a 1 centimeter. Maybe I want to do like a 20 centimeters, so I move it like a 20 centimeter forwards. So and again, if you know there is a spawn actor function, you can search UE4 spawn actor, something like this, and probably put CPP, and there is a documentation, and see there is a parameters and stuff. So you put the class name. Actually, I'm not putting it here. So it looks like it shows like an overload. I'm using different spawn actor. Yeah, I'm using, there is a multiple overloads, but you see there is a function to spawn actor, right? So you can also search just for this thing. And yeah, and there is so many overloads. So I think I'm using this overload most likely. So transform and spawn parameters. Yeah. So for transformers like here, and then same thing for rotation. And if I'll just put empty vector. I think empty vector will just put some random stuff on it. So I prefer to do like a 0, 0, 0, just in case. And then param. Again, you can look at documentation. I show you how to do this thing. Dot spawn lesion on the right equals. Oh, it's so verbose. I mean, it's like this is in our thing what I hate in Unreal Engine is extremely verbose. Okay, hopefully it will compile. Why you're not happy? Oh yeah, candy. It doesn't know about candy because I need to include candy. Okay, so now then I'm clicking on the button. No class was specified. Cool. That's great. We have an error which says spawn actor failed because no class was specified, and it's happened because I did not specify the class, right? So I have my blueprint candy vending blueprint candy vending machine button, and I did not specify the what candy class to spawn, right? So I need to select blueprint candy. Now it is specified, and now I can spawn it. Let's try again, and let's pay attention to logs. So because of collision, maybe, so it is colliding for some reason. It's trying to spawn things and it's colliding. So the front vector is, I guess I have to turn it on Z 180 degrees because front vector is this way, forward vector, maybe 1444024. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the empty actor here and put these coordinates 144,460,385. Where is it? Where did I put the empty actor? Look, this collider, I guess, too big, right? Yeah, let's see. So what I did, I opened static mesh of this guy, and do you remember I asked to create the collider automatically? Oh yeah, so it's too big. So I can redo collider. This is one way. I guess it's a good way to show how to create custom colliders. Okay, so I'm going to show how to create custom collider for this guy, right? So we go to Blender and open the vending machine file. And I want to have basically two collider shapes. One is sphere and another one is cylinder. Unreal Engine doesn't have cylinder collider, but it has convex shape, so it would be good enough. And I'm going to ignore the base. So, how we can do this thing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this guy, duplicate it, and then make the separate object out of this thing. If I can remember how to do it. Separate object, and I'm going to remove all these balls from here. That's it. This is the one collider, and there is a special naming convention. So naming convention is U, and for sphere it's like CSUSC. I do not remember. So the web page on internet called something pipeline, UE4 pipeline. Yeah, FBX static mesh pipeline. So this is the page, and it's like one of the pages on Unreal documentation, which is kind of useful. So and the useful thing, it's a naming convention for for meshes, and for sphere it's USP, so I was wrong. So we call it USP, so it would be mesh for collider, sphere collider. And then I'm going to take maybe this cylinder and make it convex collider out of this thing. I'm going to duplicate this guy, separate, and that's it. And I'm going to call it U convex CX. So here we go. And in this case, hopefully we will get better colliding. And it's a little bit more expensive. I do not know. Actually, I do not know if it's more expensive or less expensive. Anyways, so now I'm going to export FBX, and again face and tangent spaces, export FBX, and I can close Blender, and then I can press. I do not know how to re-import from this window. Oh, where is it? If you know, tell me. What I do, I press here, re-import, and it's re-importing, and sphere is missing. USP. Why sphere is missing? Should I put also? I don't think I should. USP. Let me read up why it's not happy. Maybe because I cut. Let me try first theory with naming convention, and if it didn't work, I'll just create another sphere, because I'm afraid it's happened because I cut the bottom and it's not happy about the missing bottom part. Let's see. So export FBX, geometry, face, tangent space, export, and then re-import. Okay, where is it? Nope, so it's not happy. Okay, so in this case I'll make the sphere. So they said like an 8 should be enough, and put it here, and so delete this sphere. Okay, let's try again. Export FBX and re-import. Okay, it was the case of missing geometry. I didn't like the sphere. Okay, so now we have things, and hopefully then I press on the button. And it's false. I need to put more colliders. Okay, no big deal. Lesson learned. So 4 more colliders, right? So this one, I guess I'll do also convex one. Section UCX02. And the recommendation here, colliders should not touch each other. So what I'm going to do for this guy, I'm going to lower this guy slightly so they would not touch each other. Okay, export again. VX. All parameters should be same because I did not close. Let's just double check face, tangent spaces, and re-import. Let's look. Yeah, so we have colliders. Okay, play. Yeah, look at this. Now I just want to step on them, and they will get on me. So there is a bunch of candies, and now I just want to step on them, and they will be destroyed. Okay, we have one unbuilt object. Let's build it, and while it's building, I can close Blender. While it's building, we will implement a candy collection thing. So for candy collection thing, I want to use the collision event. So if you click on the character, the first person character, it has capsule component, and it's basically capsule collision volume, and everything that enters this capsule will trigger the on component begin overlap, and then if it's leaving, it will trigger end overlap, or you can just use on component hit. message, I think to make it work you have to put like some checkbox to make the hit work. Yeah, simulation generate hit events. So to be on safe side, I think I will implement this part on component begin overlap. I can do it on Blueprint, and in Blueprint it's going to be way easier. But I'll show you in C++ because event system like a delegate system in C++ not covered too much on YouTube, even like on tutorials, and like there is not too much information on internet, and it's like total mess. So I think I should show it. So basically I want to run some code if something generating event, right? So we need to so we have I don't know how to start. We have delegate. So delegate is it is something which is going to be called on different events. One of event it's a overlap event, and if you assign to these delegates some functions, you can assign multiple of them, it will call all of them, or you can assign only one, it will call only one. So we have a capsule here for the player, right? And if anything get inside this capsule, it will create the event, and I can assign some code to run if this event happens. So to do this thing in begin play, I can get the capsule component, and it was set up by template code. So there is a function get capsule component. Actually, it's not template code. It's actually part of a character. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So we've got the capsule component, and it has a delegate which called on component begin overlap. So this part you can find on internet, right? Like if you search for this thing. Anyways, if you search for this guy, you can find documentation about like it's. But signatures, like how I supposed to figure out like this signature is like a external mess. There is no way to figure out stuff. Anyways, and it's like how to work with this thing. So what you do add dynamic, and then put these, and then you put like a function, and it's like impossible to figure out like what signature of the function. But what I do, it's like I'm coming up with name of the function, and it's like, let's say I'll just call it I don't know, begin overlap. Okay, so, and I do not know what signature for this function is supposed to be. Protected public, there is no private section. Let's put it somewhere here. Begin overlap, I do not know what is it, but like it has to be marked as U function. The crazy thing, there is no error codes, nothing, and I leave it like this, and then compile and let it fail, and on the fail it gives me some useful error code, and I can extract from the error code what parameters I need. So where is it? Oh, here we go, look at this. So user class, and then void cd and this is list of parameters. This is my way to do things. I do not know what is the proper way, but like I cannot find any information on internet. So now I copied it and I can paste it here. My component, other component, I don't know what is this thing, N, B, I don't know, but I have to put names for them. And I have no idea what parameters there are. I can actually, this part I can figure out just doing like a things in blueprints, but I would not be able to figure out the type names. So if I click, oh, not this one, where is it? If I click on begin overlap, so there is all these parameters and they have names, but like types are, I do not know what is it. You know, like this button is like, okay, it's from sleep, sweep, body index, and I don't care about them. So I do care about only this parameter. So now, and on overlap I can do log NA, so overlap, and I can put get name. So just let's verify things are working. Tutorial CPP. So now if I press play, I should see like a bunch of logs, then overlap is happening, and I'm not seeing it. Ah, so overlap with candy is working. Okay, I mean, I don't care about anything else. Yeah, it is working, and I don't care about anything else. So let's check if it's candy. If candy equals cast. Unreal way of casting things. A candy other. And what I would do, I would have like, let's do score plus plus. So score will increase, and we will destroy candy. Candy destroy. So I will have the property score, and maybe I'll just copy this thing, and we will do int score equals 0. Okay, and one thing, oh, what just happened? Should not be used in private. Is it private? But it's using here. Not fair. Right. There is a blueprint read only. Oh, there is allowed private access also. Whatever. So one thing, what candy destroy. Okay, I need to include candy. Include candy.h. Okay, so one thing what I learned is user interface is kind of hard to do in C++. So user interface usually I do in blueprints. So this is one thing which is like really hard to do in C++, and I guess it's fine. So anyways, now we will have ability to eat candies and get more candies, and then num 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 num. Eat them all! Come on! Why I cannot eat them? Yeah, okay. And I want to show the score on the screen. So we already put this cross on the screen, right? And let's put save everything just in case. Let's put score. So what I would do? So in Blueprint it's very easy. You just put things and just like say score. Left justification, put here, and then bind the function to this thing. And what I would need to do, get player character, then I need to cast this thing to project blueprint get player character. Why cannot cast? Get player character. What? Oh, it's not blueprint. It is what the name for the guy? First person character. This is the problem. This is the thing. First, because it was templatized, it was named the way as Unreal Engine naming things. Anyways, and then we can get the score, and then we can just apply it here, and it will automatically convert it to text. So I like to organize blueprints like this, like a stacking things, and with these two things here, and we should be we should be good. Here we go. There is a score 0, right? I eat this 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2, and we can get like a more candies. 14 26. That's it. I think this is whole my tutorial. I'm hoping I showed you a lot of things, line trace, collisions, pipeline for importing stuff, custom colliders, user interface. This, guys, this is coincidence. I did not do it deliberately. User interface, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. I hope it's helpful. I hope it will give you some insight and unstuck you from using Unreal Engine. I was stuck for a long time and it took forever for me to figure out things. Hopefully this tutorial will help you a lot. If you want more this sort of tutorials, like and comment and do things to encourage me. If there is a lot of views, it will encourage me to make more this sort of videos, right? So hope you enjoy. See you hopefully next time. Bye. Oh, one more thing. You can make the build, and it's very simple. You go here, file, package project. If you want to give it to friend, make it for shipping. If you just for your own testing, make it for development, make it for shipping, for example. Package, and then do Windows. Select the folder where you want to put it. I normally just put it like in the root folder here. It takes forever, but like I will speed it up, so for you it will not take too much time. Okay, so it's built, and it will create a folder inside the tutorial CPP Windows No Editor, and you can just run this executable. And here we go. This is the game from the executable. There is a candy here on the floor, and you can make more candies and you can eat them. 12 of them, 24. Here we go. Alt F4 to close it. And that's it.